I still remember the message on my phone on a late night in Texas.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be doing that full coverage, thick, heavy glam routine. Now I say thick, not uncomfortably thick, just, you know, that cake. So yeah, if you want to know how to get that full coverage, make it last all day, all night, you can sleep in it and still wake up fresh in the morning, then just keep on watching. Okay, now first, the main point here is skincare. Like, not the main point, but like, it's so important to have good skincare if you want a nice foundation routine. So I would definitely suggest you get some kind of really mild exfoliant. So I actually get these Nip and Fab Teen Skin Fix Breakout Rescue Pads. Basically they're just cleansing pads, but they actually have a little bit of salicylic acid in them. So now what I say by exfoliating, I more mean like slightly more of a chemical exfoliant. Now don't get anything too harsh because that's just going to irritate your face. But these I find are really, really good if I've just like been asleep or whatever. And I basically just grab one of these, maybe two, and I literally just rub it on my skin. And what it does is it's going to kind of exfoliate that dead skin off, and it's going to give you a fresh layer of skin to work on. Honestly, I don't know, I think this is honestly like a standout product for me. This is the Your Good Skin Balancing Skin Concentrate. Now honestly, I ran out of this stuff and my skin started breaking out again. And I was like, what the hell? I was getting spots all over my forehead. You can probably see in my most recent videos. And I got this, I was like, oh, I don't want to buy it. It's £17. Now, that's not expensive, but it's not high end, but that's expensive for me. Like, I like some cheap ass. I like cheap stuff, okay? And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I really like it. I'm just gonna buy it, rebuy it, and just deal with it. And I brought it, and literally my skin, like, I don't have spots right now. Like, I have nothing on my face. So it's not technically a moisturiser, but to be honest, I just use it as a moisturiser. I find it moisturises my skin enough. And it is, honestly, it's so silky and soft. But just use any moisturiser you have, because, yeah, just use what you have. Just make sure you're moisturising your skin before you put on the thick cake, because otherwise it's just not going to look pretty. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop on my brows and I'm going to be right back because no one wants to watch me carve out my brows a million times, so see you in a sec. Right, so first things first, I always use a primer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. I'm actually kind of testing this out at the moment and I really, really like the way it works. It just works really well with my dry skin, but it still has like a tackiness to it. So yeah, don't skip out on primer for sure, because it doesn't actually have the ingredients on here, but I believe it's a silicone based primer. It kind of feels that way. For my dry skin, that's what works best. But just use a primer that you're comfortable with, whatever primer works for your skin. I've just found this primer does really work nicely at keeping my makeup on for all those hours. However, it is other techniques as well that you can use to keep your makeup on all day. It's not just primers. Right, now what I like to do is I always like my primer to set in for a good couple of minutes, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. Sometimes I do primer and then eyebrows. Sometimes I do my eye makeup first, go to skin, go back to eyes. That's what I would recommend, just to make sure it sinks into your skin. Don't just quickly pile all this makeup on at once, because it's really the layering of the makeup that makes it last. Whilst that's setting in, I just want to talk to you about the foundation that I use. I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is in the shade Rattan. Now, this foundation is heavy duty. It kind of smells like paint stripper, which I'm not really a massive fan of. But honestly, guys, if you want something that lasts for a million years, this is honestly the way to go. A foundation that I'm also going to be using is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick in the shade Y405. Now for this I always use a sponge as well. I'm using the Beauty Blender, just the pink one. And I always just get the foundation out on a surface. The stupid thing is with this, they don't come with a pump, so you have to be really careful. Now I actually pop the sponge into the foundation that I've got out, so I've got a good amount on my sponge like this. And then I just start working it into the skin. Now this applies best with a sponge. I just find you get the most flawless full coverage finish using it like this. And I do use quite a lot of this foundation. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Makeup Forever HD Foundation Stick. And now what I do is, you can see I haven't really put foundation like around here that much. So I literally just like do one swipe here and one swipe here. Now this is really creamy formula and I feel like it works quite nicely underneath the eyes. I'm not using it as a concealer, I'm just using it to kind of brighten that darkness over there because it is slightly more tan. It's going to counteract my kind of under eye area situation. Right, now I'm going to go in with, it's quite funny actually, the Makeup Revolution Concealer. Now I friggin' hated these. I didn't hate them, but I just didn't like them when I first tried them. But honestly, they last all day, and I can't use them when my skin is really dry. So if you have very dry skin, I definitely wouldn't wear these. But for my skin right now, after using the Your Good Skin concentrate, my skin is nowhere near as dry. And I do really like this formula in terms of the coverage, and I love using it on girls with like more oily skin because it just works incredibly. I just feel like I don't need that much. You don't need that much of it in order for it to cover. And I'm just going to blend that out with the same sponge. Now I'm just going in with the Fit Me concealer. This isn't adding any coverage. I just basically just want to brighten like just here. I mean, we've got the base down. So I'm just making sure all the tones are right. As I've said before, if you want your makeup to last all day, you need to layer products. So I always do like a cream product. So I'm going to go in with the Naked Skin in Dark Golden. This is their concealer. Now this is a really light coverage concealer, but it's really great for cream contouring just because it's so like liquidy and you can move it around really easily. And I find that this really helps like hold my contour in place. And I'm just blending it out with the Real Techniques. This is limited edition. I don't know what it's called. It just comes in a little pack. But it's just a really dense, it's kind of a flat top round brush, and it's really, really dense, so it blends it out really seamlessly. I always keep my sponge on hand just to like go over any edges, make sure I don't look too crazy. You're just kind of pushing this product into the foundation. Once you push most of it in, then I kind of like really lightly swipe. But I'm just trying to not like move the product around too much because then you're gonna look a hot mess. Cream contouring is one of those things where like I think it's a little bit gimmicky. Like I think you see people going crazy with it, and I don't think that's necessary, to be honest. I do think if you want a really, really flawless full coverage look, it's a good thing to do because it means that your makeup will last. Like it will last because there's layers. However, I don't think this is necessary all the time, and especially like if you have a smaller forehead than me, you don't need to carve it out this much. I've just carved it out quite a lot because I got a big ass forehead. And now I'm going to do a little bit of reverse contouring with that Fit Me concealer. So I just do a little line here. And this just like cleans up everything, makes it look really sharp. I'm just going to do a little bit down here. Just like that. I'm just going to blend that out with my Beauty Blender. And then I go back in with that brush and just make sure everything is nice and seamless. See that sharp line there? That's what you want. That's not going to stay like looking like that. But that is just a great starting point in having those really nice cut cheekbones where you're like, yes, you look really contoured and sharp. Something I've been really into lately is putting lipsticks onto the face. Now you can actually get cheek products and things, but to me it's like all the same thing. It's basically just a cream that's red. So I'm gonna pop on, this is Relentless Red from MAC, and I'm gonna add a little bit of this, which is Flirtatious from e.l.f. And I'm just going to buff it onto the back of my hand, literally the same that I did in my other video. Buff it like that, and then I'm going to pop my Beauty Blender on it, the one that had the foundation, and I'm going to use it as a blush. I feel like this makes my blush wear a lot better than normal because, you know, blush is always that first thing to come off when you look in the mirror and you've got no blush on. So I find that this extra layer of product, putting this and then putting a powder, really helps it last. And I just love the way it looks. I think with doing full coverage, you want to be careful on the powders you use, because you obviously want it to set and you want it to last, but you don't want to look cakey or powdery. And this is a great way to kind of get that base ready for the powders to go on top without having to put more powder on, if that makes sense. Now that is what I'm going into the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I am gonna do a light bake. If you have oily skin, I would bake pretty much the whole face, but I don't. Just make sure you get rid of any creasing beforehand. And setting your under eyes with like a translucent powder is like the key to making them kind of last. I'm using the same sponge I used for that concealer. I'm really pushing that in because I want it to adhere to the skin. I really want to push in all of that product. And the same with the smile lines. And I'm kind of pushing in quite a lot of product, but then I'm like dabbing it out. And around the nose, put a little bit more. This is kind of the main area that I focus on with my powders. I'm just gonna go up the edges of that contour up my nose. And I don't set the actual bridge of my nose just because I'm gonna put a highlighter on top of there. So that's another powder, setting that in place. And I will go over everything with the Charlotte Tilbury powder as well. And just make sure you're not using the side of your sponge that's got pink all over it, because I sometimes make that mistake if I'm in a bit of a hurry. So yeah, I'm just popping this in between my eyebrows, really pushing it onto the forehead. And don't worry about the perimeter of the face because we're going to use bronzers there, so that's going to set everything down in that area. And just doing along here as well. We will be baking along here as well, but we're going to do that after we've done the bronzer. I need to pluck my moustache at the moment, so if this area looks dark, it's not the foundation, it's mascara. Next I'm going into the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder by Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm just going to pop this all over the skin. I'm just going to lightly pat it. Now this is an incredible powder for during the day. If you want to retouch your face, it's incredible. It doesn't leave a trace and it just makes your pores look really small, and I love it. It's great. I'm gonna go into my all-time favorite bronzer, which is the Hoola bronzer. It's a little mini travel one. So I'm just gonna, with the same brush I added the powder, because I've done that cream contour, I don't think I need to go in really precise with this. I'm just gonna bronzer up just around here and my chin. And now I am going to add this to my neck because my face is just a little bit more tan than my neck. But I always do my face a little bit darker because I like to look glowy, tanned. Now you can tell that we're looking a little bit powdery at the moment. Don't worry, we will fix that. Next I'm going into this Melba blush from MAC. I use this blush shade all the time. It's a peachy pink colour and I love it. And I'm just going to set that blush. Our blush is going to look a little bit heavy right now, but don't you worry. We will calm all that down in a minute. So now I want to make our skin look a little bit more skin-like and not so powder. So we're going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Oil Control Setting Spray. Now don't be afraid, any girls that have dry skin, it says oil control, but I don't think it ever dries out my skin. So I'm just going to spray this, and I'm going to spray a lot. And this is because I want to wet all of those products down and just make it all sink into the skin. Right, now I wait until all of that setting spray is pretty much dry, and I'm going to go in with my 3 favourite highlighters. I know 3 highlighters is ridiculous. You can use 1 if you want to. These are just the highlighters that I love using together. And one is the Master Chrome from Maybelline, and the other is Doe Light Shine Bright. And I'm just rubbing this on using a fan brush. Now I'm going into the Master Chrome highlight from Maybelline. I'm just going to put this over top. And these 2 highlights I find last the longest out of all of my highlights. They stand that test of time, girl. Now for my nose highlight, I like to use a smaller brush and the Blushing Hearts Triple Baked Blusher from Makeup Revolution. Well, it's I Love Makeup. Next I'm going back into that Laura Mercier and I'm just going to cut the cheekbones. Like so. And you want to leave that on for about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you have to do. If you want to get a drink of coffee, relax. I'm just gonna watch a little bit of America's Next Top Model and I'll be right back. Now I kind of just lightly dust away this line. And then I go back in with this sponge. Honestly, like, sponge is like so important. I'm just getting rid of the pink on the butt of it so I can use the butt. And I just go over this. I go back into this bronzer brush and just diffuse the edges. This next step is something I sometimes do. I don't always do this in my full coverage foundation routine, but I'm going to go in with the Tarteist Pro palette and I'm going to grab this really white shade here and the yellow shade on top, and I just mix them together on this little brush, and I just go straight under the eyes with it. I just do it to brighten up this whole area because I want it to be really nice and light and powerful. Right, now last but not least, I'm going back into that Makeup Revolution fixing spray. So this is the finished skin. I'll do some close-ups and then I'm gonna go do my eyes, come back, and then I'll finish up the video. Just turn the brightness way down so you can see everything really, really, really clearly. What my skin looks like. Okay, so this is the finished look, and this eye makeup took me way too long. So I've been wearing this skin makeup now for about, I'm probably gonna say about 2 hours because I had a snack in between, and yeah, I take a long ass time to do makeup sometimes. So yeah, this is the finished look and the skin still looks flawless. Literally nothing has changed on the skin, and this is exactly why I do this foundation routine. My room is boiling hot right now. The sun is literally coming through the window so strong and I'm sweating, and it still looks pretty good. Still looks the same as when I put it on. I am wearing the Primark lip gloss in the shade, it's not actually Water Peach, it is in the shade Toffee Dip, and it's a really nice kind of brown nude lip gloss. For the eye makeup, you can head over to my Instagram and I filmed a little mini tutorial on there for you guys if you want to see what products I used. I'll link my Instagram down below, it's just @GoodieMakeup. But yeah, this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching this full coverage, heavy duty glam, and how to make your makeup last for 12 to 18 hours. If you did enjoy this video, please give me the big thumbs up because it'll make me so happy, and write a comment down below of any videos you want to see. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Teen Skin Fix. That's what this is not adding any I thought I was gonna sneeze then. My foundation lips. Stunning. All the time is my favourite brush. Blush. I wonder why I run out of that shit so fast, but I use it so much. And this is exactly, oh god, I got a bit of eyebrow pomade on my neck.